Life is full of challenges, and no one is free from difficulties. Whether it is a personal struggle, an academic challenge, a financial problem, or an emotional burden, hardships are a part of life. Sometimes these struggles seem overwhelming and we feel lost, as if there is no way out. But in those moments of uncertainty, we must remember one important truth. God is always in control. No matter how tough the situation is, God has a plan, and He never abandons us. When we face difficulties, it is natural to feel discouraged. We might question why certain things are happening to us or wonder if we will ever overcome our struggles. But faith teaches us that God knows what He is doing, even when we don't understand. His wisdom is far beyond ours, and He sees the bigger picture of our lives. Just like a puzzle, we may only see a few scattered pieces, but God sees the complete design. Sometimes the challenges we go through are shaping us for something greater. History and religious teachings are full of examples of people who faced hardships but trusted God, and in the end, everything worked out for the best. One of the most well-known examples is the story of Prophet Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, thrown into a pit, and sold as a slave. Later, he was falsely accused and imprisoned. If anyone had a reason to lose hope, it was him. But he never stopped trusting God. In the end, the same Joseph who suffered so much became a ruler in Egypt and helped save many lives. His hardships were not meaningless. They were part of God's plan to bring him to a position of greatness. In our own lives, we might not always see why we are going through certain struggles, but we must hold on to faith. Sometimes a failure in school, a loss of friendship, or an unexpected challenge is not the end. It is a step towards something better. God uses our difficulties to teach us, strengthen us, and prepare us for the future. If we trust Him, we will see how even our hardest moments serve a greater purpose. One of the most important things to remember during difficult times is that God's timing is perfect. We often want immediate solutions, but sometimes God asks us to wait. Waiting can be difficult, but it is during these times that we grow in patience, faith, and strength. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a strong tree, our challenges take time to turn into blessings. If we rush the process, we may not experience the full beauty of God's plan. Instead of worrying, we should focus on doing our best and trusting that God is working behind the scenes. Another reason we should trust God is that He never makes mistakes. Everything He does is with wisdom and love. Even when we feel like things are out of control, He is still guiding us. It is like a ship in a storm. The passengers may feel afraid, but the captain knows where he is taking them. In the same way, our lives may feel like they are in a storm, but God is the captain, and He will bring us safely to the shore. Difficulties do not last forever. Just as night is followed by morning and storms are followed by sunshine, our struggles will pass. No matter how dark the situation seems today, better days are ahead. God promises that those who trust Him will see goodness. So instead of giving up, we must hold on to faith, keep working hard, and believe that God will turn things around. And in the end, challenges are not meant to break us, but to make us stronger. There are opportunities to grow, to learn, and to build a deeper trust in God. When we face difficulties, we should remind ourselves that we are not alone. God is with us, He is in control, and He has a beautiful plan for our lives. So no matter what we are going through, we must trust Him, knowing that in His perfect time, everything will fall into place. Trusting God is one of the most powerful sources of hope and strength in life. No matter what difficulties we face, knowing that God is in control brings a sense of peace and reassurance. Life is full of ups and downs, and there are moments when we feel weak, lost, or discouraged. However, faith reminds us that we are never alone. When we trust God, we find the courage to move forward, even when things seem impossible. Hope is essential for a meaningful life. Without hope, challenges feel overwhelming and the future appears uncertain. But when we put our trust in God, we realize that no situation is permanent. Every difficulty, no matter how great, is temporary because God has a plan for each of us. Trusting Him means believing that better days are ahead, even when we cannot see them yet. Just like the sun rises after the darkest night, relief comes after every hardship. This belief gives us the strength to endure struggles with patience and perseverance. In life, we often come across situations that test our faith. Sometimes we experience failure despite our hard work, lose people we love, or face unexpected difficulties. In such moments, it is easy to feel hopeless, but trusting God means understanding that He sees what we cannot. He knows what is best for us, even when we don't understand His ways. Many times, what seems like a setback is actually a step forward in His greater plan. When we believe that God is in control, we stop worrying about things beyond our control. Instead, we focus on doing our best and leaving the rest to Him. Trusting God also gives us strength in times of weakness. There are moments when we feel exhausted, both physically and emotionally. We may feel like giving up when life becomes too hard, but faith gives us the inner power to keep going. Knowing that God is with us provides a sense of security. Just as a child feels safe when holding a parent's hand, we feel strong when we hold on to God's promises. He does not abandon those who trust Him. He gives them the strength to overcome any difficulty, no matter how tough it seems. Many people in history have faced great challenges but remained strong because of their faith in God. Prophets, leaders, and ordinary people have overcome hardships by trusting Him. The story of Prophet Moses is a great example. He was faced with difficulties at every step, from leading his people out of slavery to crossing the sea. The situation seemed impossible, but because he trusted God, miracles happened. His trust gave him the strength to stand firm even when things looked hopeless. This teaches us that when we rely on God, He makes a way where there seems to be none. Another beautiful thing about trusting God is that it takes away fear. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles in life. Fear of failure, fear of the future, and fear of the unknown often stop us from moving forward. But when we believe that God is in control, we realize that there is nothing to fear. He is greater than any problem we face. No matter what happens, He will guide us and take care of us. This trust removes worry and fills our hearts with peace. Difficulties will always be a part of life, but they do not have to break us. When we trust God, we find the strength to rise above them. We learn to see challenges as opportunities to grow and become stronger. Instead of feeling hopeless, we remain hopeful. Instead of feeling weak, we feel empowered. Faith in God transforms our mindset and helps us face life with confidence and courage. In the end, trusting God is the key to a life filled with hope and strength. It helps us remain calm in difficult times and gives us the power to keep going no matter what. With faith, we can overcome any obstacle and face any challenge. No matter what comes our way, trusting God assures us that everything will be okay because He is always with us, guiding us toward a better future. Throughout history, great people have faced tremendous hardships but succeeded because of their faith. Challenges, struggles, and failures are part of life, but what sets extraordinary individuals apart is their ability to trust in something greater than themselves. Faith gives people the strength to endure difficult times, the courage to keep going when everything seems impossible, and the hope that better days are ahead. Those who trust in God and believe in His plan eventually see their hardships turn into success. One of the most powerful examples of faith leading to success is the story of Prophet Joseph. He was betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, and later thrown into prison for a crime he did not commit. From the outside, his life seemed full of suffering and misfortune. But despite all these hardships, he never lost faith in God. He remained patient, continued to do good, and trusted that God had a plan for him. In the end, the same Joseph who was once a slave became a ruler in Egypt. Second only to the king, he was able to save thousands of people from famine, including the very brothers who had betrayed him. His story teaches us that no matter how bad things seem, faith can turn even the worst situations into something amazing. Another great example is Prophet Moses. From the moment he was born, he faced danger. As a baby, he was placed in a basket and sent down a river to escape a cruel ruler's command. As he grew older, he was chosen by God to lead his people out of slavery. The journey was filled with obstacles. He had to face a powerful king, lead thousands of people through the desert, and cross a sea with enemies chasing behind. At times, the situation seemed hopeless, but Moses never gave up because he had faith. He believed that God would make a way, and that is exactly what happened. The sea was parted, his people were saved, and his faith led him to success. His story reminds us that even when things look impossible, trusting in God can create miracles. Faith is not just seen in religious figures, but also in great leaders, scientists, and inventors who changed the world. One such example is Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. He failed more than 1,000 times before he finally succeeded. Many people would have given up after so many failures, but Edison had faith in his vision. He believed that his hard work would pay off, and because of that, he changed the world. His story teaches us that faith is not just about trusting God in difficult times. It is also about believing in ourselves and the abilities he has given us. Another inspiring figure is Nelson Mandela. He fought against injustice and stood for equality, even when it cost him 27 years in prison. Most people would have lost hope, but Mandela kept his faith. He believed that justice would win, and he never let go of his dream for a better world. In the end, he was not only freed, but became the president of South Africa and a symbol of peace and forgiveness. His story shows that faith gives people the strength to keep going, even when the road is difficult. The life of Helen Keller is also a powerful example. She lost her ability to see and hear at a very young age, yet she did not let her disability stop her from achieving greatness. With faith and determination, she learned to communicate, graduated from college, and became an inspiration to millions. She proved that no obstacle is too big when a person has faith and the will to overcome it. The stories of these great individuals prove that faith is the key to success. It gives people the ability to endure suffering, overcome obstacles, and continue moving forward, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Whether it is in religion, leadership, science, or personal struggles, faith has always played a major role in helping people rise above their challenges. Difficulties are a part of life, but those who trust in God and believe in their purpose always find a way to succeed. Their lives serve as a reminder that faith is stronger than any hardship, and with it, anything is possible. Praying and believing in God's timing is one of the most important lessons in life. Many times, we find ourselves in situations where we feel stuck, waiting for something to happen. We pray for success, healing, opportunities, or solutions to our problems. But when things do not happen immediately, we start to feel impatient or even doubtful. However, faith teaches us that everything happens at the right time, God's time. He knows what is best for us and when it is best for us. All we need to do is trust Him, keep praying, and have faith that He is working behind the scenes, even when we cannot see it. Life does not always go according to our plans. We may want something to happen now, but God has a better plan that requires patience. It is easy to believe when things are going smoothly, but true faith is shown when we continue to trust in God, even when we do not see immediate results. When we plant a seed, we do not see it grow instantly. It takes time, care, and patience before it turns into a strong tree. In the same way, God's plans for us take time to unfold. Every prayer we make is heard and every request is noted, but the answer comes at the right moment. Not when we demand it, but when it is truly best for us. One of the most inspiring examples of trusting in God's timing is the story of Prophet Abraham. He and his wife Sarah longed for a child for many years. They prayed and waited, but nothing seemed to happen. Many would have lost hope, but they kept their faith. Finally, at an age when most people would think it was impossible, God blessed them with a son. This story reminds us that just because something is delayed does not mean it is denied. God's timing is perfect, even when it does not match our expectations. What may seem like a delay is often a time of preparation, making sure we are ready to receive the blessing when it comes. There are moments in life when we pray for something, but instead of getting what we ask for, we experience setbacks or challenges. In those moments, it is important to remember that sometimes God's delays are actually His way of protecting us. We might think we need something right now, but only God knows whether it is truly good for us at that moment. Sometimes He keeps certain doors closed because He knows that what is behind them is not the best for us. Later, when we look back, we often realize that what we thought was a disappointment was actually a blessing in disguise. Faith is not just about asking God for what we want. It is also about trusting Him when things do not go as planned. Instead of feeling frustrated when our prayers are not answered immediately, we should focus on strengthening our relationship with God. Praying is not just about making requests. It is about connecting with Him, finding peace in His presence, and understanding that He knows what is best. When we pray sincerely, we receive more than just answers. We receive comfort, strength, and guidance. Patience is an important part of faith. It is not always easy to wait, especially when we are going through difficulties. But we must remind ourselves that God never forgets His people. He has a plan for each of us, and everything will happen at the right time. Just like the seasons change and flowers bloom when the time is right, our blessings will come when we are truly ready for them. The key is to remain faithful, keep praying, and believe that God's plan is greater than anything we can imagine. In the end, trusting in God's timing brings peace. Instead of worrying about when things will happen, we learn to rest in the assurance that they will happen at the perfect time. God does not make mistakes. Every delay, every unanswered prayer, and every unexpected challenge is part of His greater plan. So no matter what we are waiting for, success, healing, opportunities, or happiness, we must keep praying, keep believing, and keep trusting. Because when the time is right, God will make everything fall into place beautifully. Patience is one of the most powerful qualities a person can have. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and disappointments, but those who remain patient and keep moving forward eventually find success. Every great achievement requires time, effort, and perseverance. Whether it is in studies, career, relationships, or personal growth, nothing happens overnight. The key to overcoming obstacles is to stay strong, trust the process, and keep pushing forward, even when things seem difficult. One of the biggest mistakes people make is expecting immediate results. In today's world, where everything is fast-paced, many people want instant success. However, true success takes time. Just like a tree takes years to grow strong and bear fruit, our dreams also require patience. When we rush things, we often make mistakes or miss important lessons along the way. Patience allows us to grow, learn, and improve so that when success finally comes, we are ready to handle it. Life is not always fair, and there will be times when we face difficulties that seem too big to overcome. We may fail an exam despite studying hard, lose an opportunity that we worked for, or face unexpected struggles. In such moments, it is easy to feel discouraged and think about giving up. But patience teaches us that failure is not the end. It is just a part of the journey. Many successful people in history faced failure before they achieved greatness. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is persistence. And instead of quitting, they kept moving forward, learning from their mistakes, and trying again until they reached their goals. One of the greatest examples of patience and perseverance is the story of Thomas Edison. He failed thousands of times before he finally invented the light bulb. Many people in his situation would have given up, but he believed that each failure was just a step closer to success. He once said, "I have not failed, I've just found 1,0,0,0,0 ways that won't work." His story teaches us that setbacks should not discourage us. Instead, they should make us stronger and more determined to achieve our goals. Patience is also important in personal growth. Many people want to change their lives instantly, whether it is improving their health, learning a new skill, or becoming a better person, but real change takes time. A person who wants to become physically fit cannot achieve results in just a few days. They must exercise consistently and maintain discipline over a long period. Similarly, developing good habits, improving our character, or mastering a new skill requires patience and continuous effort. The key is to take small steps every day and trust that progress is happening, even if it is not immediately visible. Difficulties in life often make us stronger. Challenges test our patience and resilience, shaping us into better versions of ourselves. Instead of seeing hardships as obstacles, we should see them as opportunities to grow. Every struggle teaches us something valuable, whether it is strength, wisdom, or gratitude. The people who achieve great things are not the ones who never faced problems. They are the ones who never let problems stop them. Another important aspect of patience is trusting in God's plan. Sometimes things do not happen as we want them to, and we wonder why. But faith teaches us that everything happens for a reason. Just because something is delayed does not mean it is denied. What we are waiting for will come at the right time. When we keep moving forward with patience and faith, we eventually reach our destination, often in a way better than we imagined. In the end, patience and perseverance are the keys to success in every area of life. Challenges will come, failures will happen, and progress may seem slow, but those who remain patient and keep moving forward will always find a way. Life is a journey, and every step, no matter how small, brings us closer to our dreams. So, no matter how tough things get, never give up. Stay patient, stay determined, and keep going, because success is waiting for those who refuse to stop. Difficult times are a part of life, but they do not last forever. Every person faces challenges, struggles, and hardships at some point, but just as the night eventually turns into day, tough times also pass. No matter how painful or hopeless a situation seems, time brings change and things improve. The key is to stay strong, keep faith, and continue moving forward with patience and determination. Life is full of ups and downs. Sometimes we feel happy and successful, and other times we feel lost and defeated. It is natural to go through difficulties, but it is important to remember that no hardship is permanent. When we are in the middle of a tough situation, it may feel like it will never end, but if we look back at our past struggles, we realize that we overcame them. The same will happen with the challenges we face today. Every difficulty we endure makes us stronger, wiser, and more prepared for the future. One of the biggest reasons people lose hope during difficult times is because they focus only on their problems. When we experience pain, failure, or loss, it can feel overwhelming. But instead of thinking that the situation will never change, we should remind ourselves that everything in life is temporary. Just as seasons change and storms pass, our struggles will also come to an end. No matter how dark things seem, light will return. Staying positive and believing in a better future gives us the strength to endure hard times. History is full of stories of people who faced great hardships but never gave up. One example is Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison for fighting against injustice. Many people would have lost hope, but he remained strong and never stopped believing in a better future. In the end, he was not only freed, but became a leader who changed the world. His story teaches us that even the most difficult situations do not last forever. Those who remain patient and hopeful eventually see success. Failures and disappointments are also part of life, but they are not permanent. A student may fail an exam, an athlete may lose a match, or a person may face rejection in their career. However, these setbacks are just temporary. What matters is how we respond to them. If we give up, we allow our difficulties to defeat us. But if we keep trying, learning, and improving, we eventually overcome our struggles. Failure is not the end. It is just a step towards success. Another important thing to remember during tough times is that we are never alone. God is always with us, guiding us through our difficulties. Sometimes we may not understand why we are facing a certain hardship, but everything happens for a reason. God tests us, not to break us, but to make us stronger. When we trust Him and have faith in His plan, we find peace even in difficult moments. Praying and believing in God's mercy can help us stay hopeful, knowing that better days are ahead. No matter how tough life gets, we must always remind ourselves that this is just a phase. Pain, sadness, and struggles do not last forever. The key is to keep going, believe in a brighter future, and never lose hope. Every storm passes, every wound heals, and every dark night ends with the light of a new day. So whenever life feels difficult, remember, this too shall pass. Stay strong, keep faith, and trust that better days are coming.